Preston Sandlin of Home Inspection Carolina is going to continue his conversation with Ray. They'll be talking more about what he sees day in and day out and also what the future of the industry may look like. About Your House is brought to you in part by Queen City Home Store. Queen City Home Store is a family-owned store. It's been serving the Carolinas for over 70 years. They're the largest independent appliance retailer in the Carolinas, constantly growing and taking pride in the experience they offer customers with the knowledgeable sales staff, product selection, and lowest price guarantee. About Your House is also brought to you in part by PutToolsInSchools.org, connecting students to tools of the trades and raising awareness of the many career pathways. And now, here's your host, Ray Terry.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 coming your way with Preston Sandlin, Home Inspection Carolina, right here on About Your House. Heard every Saturday on Fox Sports Charlotte, 9 to 11. Download the free app. You can stream it live. Every Tuesday, live streaming on YouTube Live, on Facebook page, Facebook Live as well, on both About Your House Radio and Put Tools in Schools. Look us up. Check us out. Help us out with a subscribe and ringing bell, you know, all that stuff you do. I'm not a big social media hound, but
click the bell for notifications, like, subscribe, comment, all that.
Because we're still working on to get this podcast studio in shape, but it takes time.
Looks good.
Looks good. It just needs to work fully. We got some cameras on the blink, but we're going to figure it all out and get to where we need to be. Talking to Preston today about, well, home inspection and what they see. And the reason I want to know what they see is because you homeowners, you buy a home and then you move into it and it's yours. Mm-hmm. And what you see prior, what are you seeing out there? You got any?
Well, just some poor construction. You know, a lot of. I mean, right away, you know, a lot of the finished carpentry is the first thing you notice. You know, there's gaps at the miter, you know, it's just not meeting. There's, you know, just stuff you wouldn't have seen 20 years ago. I think some corners are probably being cut. You know, it just seems like it's cheap, I guess is a good way to put it. You can see the seams, you know, in the drywall and stuff. I don't know if that's, you know, just cheaper paint or, you know, they're not.
No, it's lack of craftsmanship. Yeah. And, you know, there again, but you see this stuff and it gets past. I mean, the wall behind us, I finished the drywall on that wall, and it wasn't perfect. I wasn't really happy with it. Now, I don't do drywall every day, but I'm pretty good at it. I'm better than average. But yet, it's a fine art.
You gotta have pride.
There's an art to finishing drywall.
Right.
And you've got to really take the pride and do it correctly. But no, you shouldn't see seams. You shouldn't be able to go into a room and count the sheets of drywall on the wall. But you've been in houses like that, haven't you?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And to be able to count the sheets of 4x8, 4x12 drywall on the wall is absolutely appalling.
Yeah.
I can't believe you even said it. See, I knew you'd throw some stuff at it.
Well, another thing, drainage. I mean, you're looking at, you know, one of the things home inspectors always do is, you know, when you walk up the house, where does the water go when it
That's
rains?
the number one, first and foremost thing that I see as soon as I pull up to a house. Where does the water go?
When it, you know, especially you get a heavy like we've had.
I got flooded out last night.
I had something similar, not flooding, but I had a gutter that's, I mean, you know, you can get a lot of rain real quick. Where does that water go? Ideally, you know, it would plane away on
elevation,
all
drain,
four
rain
corners,
and run away.
Or, you know, if the house is on the side of a hill, they can, you know, put a drain or a French drain or something to catch it and bring it around. But, you know, you just see these areas, especially because they're, you know, they're obviously trying to put as many houses as they can put in.
Yes.
For a neighborhood, and you like, they got a little shelf here, a little shelf here, a little shelf here. And then there's like, who's the bottom shelf? Like, where's the water going after that?
Right.
You know, and I just see areas, you know, even, and a lot of times by the time we're there, you know, they've put down some sod or you know, some straw. But they'll, you know, if it's rained recently, you know, there shouldn't be a soggy area. That
water should run.
Yeah, and I'm just, you know, sometimes they make it look good enough, you know, for somebody to look at it and buy it, but, 6 months from now, a year from now, some problems are going to start showing up.
Well, it's just like when they paid this lot out here. I knew Russians bought this building here about 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And when they did, they came in here. Now, here's a great example of Charlotte. I'm going to share this. This building I have the toolbox in, 5 years ago, sold for $1.4 million.
Okay.
1.4. Okay. Russians bought it. Now, I don't know how many square feet's in this building. It's a little strip shop. You saw it. Mm-hmm. But in the one next to it, on that end, another building that they fix cars in, what have you. All of it was in that $1.4 million price tag.
Okay.
They came in here and put a new roof on some of it, enhanced the parking lots, paved the parking lot, restriped the park, enhanced the whole, the whole visual image, street curb appeal to this place, and did a relatively good job. Mm-hmm. The workmanship was way less than adequate because for example, next door they remodeled the unit, and when they went in there and did all the electrical updates, every fixture is wired wrong.
Oh.
And when I say wired wrong, I mean, you go clockwise around the screw and you tighten it. Well, they're counterclockwise, which is wrong. Yeah, I know. So anyway, but this is now, they repaved the lot. The day they repaved that parking lot out there, I knew immediately to our point of water control we were going to have an issue because they didn't pay attention to the elevation.
Yeah.
Before they paved the lot, it was okay. The water seemed to take care of itself because of the elevation. But it was critical. In other words, it was a fine grade. If you got it out of whack 1 inch, you got water issues.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
gravity.
I knew it, and sure enough, if we don't keep that drain rooted out, augered out, it's going to create a flood. And I told the landlord 2 months ago that this was going to happen. Well, it happened last night. Now, okay, the Russians had it for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Turned around and sold it, 4.2.
Holy cow. Wow.
Welcome to Charlotte.
Quadrupled their money. Well, tripled their money, I guess.
That's a fact. Welcome to Charlotte. That's what's going on in this city. Wow. And we talk about private equity companies coming in and eating up, buying up all these companies. And we've got some sponsors that were bought out by private equity companies as sponsors. ABS Insulating's one. But luckily, they've been able to maintain all the down home feel to that business. Alan Hoppy, that was his business. And they came in and, installation sales or some private equity company came in and gobbled up a lot of that. Yeah. And it's going on. But like I said, some of these companies, the private equity conglomerates actually, come in and change the whole company out and change the whole business plan. And it's centered around selling more, upselling, teaching our technicians to sell and not focus on quality of service. Now, I'm not saying they're all that way. I'm not. But some are, and you got to be careful.
Yeah, there's a company that's buying up home inspection companies. And, I listen to them, to see what they
Sure.
And it's bought. I'm not aware of it if it's bought any in Charlotte, but I know they bought Atlanta and a lot of other. They love the Southeast because of what we were talking about. But apparently the plan is they buy them, do a lot of stuff you're saying, they improve it, which nothing's wrong with that. But then they're going to try to resell it again. Basically what happened to this building. Right?
Yes, exactly. That's why I threw it out there, because this is exactly what's happening in Charlotte. I mean, it's the same thing as flipping homes.
It's flipping a business kind of, almost.
Right.
And, I like you said, they're not all bad. I mean, I'm sure there's some good.
No, they're not all bad.
And capitalists in me, I still think we have the best system in the world. I don't want to, I know if we complain about it, well, do we want the government to step in? No, I
don't want anything government's got.
Yeah, I don't want anything.
Nothing.
But I don't know. There'll always be a place in my heart for mom and pop businesses.
Absolutely. But we need to teach these kids how to do that. You know, they know what entrepreneurial spirit is, so they say. Because you ask kids what you're going to be when you get out of school. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. In what? What do you mean? Oh, so you don't know what the word means. But they know what the word is. All these new words they're teaching kids, and they don't teach the meaning behind them.
Right.
Entrepreneur. Now, that's a neat word, and I like it, but it's a little bit misleading in some respects, because all entrepreneurship is business. Am I right or wrong?
No, you're right. It's
creating a business like your daughter did.
Right.
There's the true entrepreneurial spirit.
Right. Basically, entrepreneur to me is well, it could be a couple of different things. You see the way things are being done now, and you think you can do it a little better.
Yeah.
Or you see this thing and that thing. The great thing to always ask is when somebody says, I wish there was a service that would do this. I wish. It's basically solving a problem. You're a problem solver. That's entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
You found a way to solve a problem or solve it better. That's
right.
In a nutshell. And people pay for that. Sure
they do.
You know, you save me time or money or make my life easier in some way, I'm going to write a check.
Yep. So it's an entrepreneurial spirit, which I'm all for. I just think we need to teach these kids more about what is involved. For example, being in business is not easy, is it?
Oh, gosh, no. There's
too many rules.
Yeah.
Way too many rules.
Taxes, marketing, you got competitors, and, it's just, you got it coming from all sides, all the time.
Yes, you do.
And
well, what all do you inspect for as a home inspector? You used to radon, what, you know where I'm going here.
Yeah. Well, the basic, is the structural mechanical. There's a structural, from the footers all the way up to the roof. And then there's basically 3 mechanical systems on a house, the electrical, the plumbing, and the HVAC. And it's a system, just like your body has a cardiovascular system.
Sure.
And so we're checking that. Now, you get a little bit out from the basic, we can test for radon, sewer scopes. It's a little bit of an extra charge, a little bit more premium inspection. But
you've got some options.
Oh yeah. Especially newer homes. I've seen pipes that they run some heavy equipment or something over it. They crush the pipe, and you wouldn't know that right away. I mean, still water can get through, but if it gets a heavy load, it's gonna
back up.
Yeah, or an older home with a large tree in the front yard and that drain's going. Those roots love that thing. But yeah, we test for radon, lead paint. We can do an infrared scan.
I was going to. What about thermal imaging?
Yeah, do that. I remember I used to bring that in.
Yeah,
worked great on the radio. Not sure I was thinking that day, but
well, that's okay. Things change, but thermal imaging is, to me, a very beneficial service.
Yeah, it's a great tool,
especially in if you wanted to find your variables in your differentials in your home. This month is a good month to do a thermal imaging audit. I call it energy audit, because the differential right now, and let's talk about this a minute. Today is supposed to reach 95 to 100 degrees, right? 95 to 100 degrees outside. And by the way, your AC is not going to be able to keep up. They're not designed or built to keep up to this kind of heat, with this kind of heat.
Mine was struggling yesterday.
I mean, I was in a house that same situation. Matter of fact, woke up this morning, we were sweating, and it's just the weather. Okay, forgot my point.
Happens.
It does happen. But, thermal imaging. I do remember the differential. If it's 95 to 100 degrees, your thermostat's going to be set at what? 70, anywhere from 70 to 75. Okay, so you got 100 degrees outside, 75, that's what? 30 degree differential. Mm-hmm. Or you could do it in February where the temperature outside's 32 and your differentials, your thermostat still set at 70, 75, right?
Right.
So there's basically the same differential. You want to get a thermal imaging done at where the differentials are the greatest. So you can see the differences on thermal imaging, if that makes any sense.
Oh, 100%. And, to your point, scanning the house, when it's 90 outside and it's 70 on the inside, there's such a difference there. It's going to really show up if there's a cold spot or a hot spot missing insulation.
Or leaking.
Right. Because the way it happens is, so what a thermal camera does is it tells you the surface temperature of everything.
Yes.
And there's also convection. I mean, what that surface temperature is indication of what the temperature behind that is. So if you're scanning and there's an abnormality, everything kind of has a pattern. It looks like, whoa, why is it really hot right there? Or why is it really cold right there? Because everything else heats and cools down at a different rate, like water. Sure. So if there's water in there, that water was the temperature it was last night or whatever.
Right.
And then the air changes quickly, but that water takes a long time for it so that it'll show up a little bit colder or warmer depending on the year.
Right.
So that's how you can tell. It's like when there's an abnormality, a lot of times it's like,
and it's obvious too.
Oh yeah. It's like, wow, that wall right there, there's a big area that's hot, and then sure enough, the insulation or whatever.
And ceilings too, you can scan and you can see immediately the areas that don't have any insulation on them.
Oh yeah, and we've caught before like an extremely hot or cold spot, like right there, ceiling or whatever. And
sure.
And go up there. You know what? They never cut in the vent for the duct was just blowing right up against the back of the drywall. We've had that happen.
I don't doubt that.
They've never cut in the duct and that's why it showed up hot.
Sure.
In the winter it'd be hot, and this summer it'd be
right.
cold because it's just blowing that cold air right up against.
Right.
I'm like, golly, they've been spending a bunch of money to.
And here's something that a friend of mine bought a small, less expensive thermal imaging camera, and he has a condo or a patio home, or call it what you want, like an apartment style structure.
Right.
But they're down at the college, built in the 70s, and he said that it was really drafty in the cold months, and I said thermal imaging will show you why, but I can tell you why. Where the wall meets the slab, because he's on a slab, where that framing meets the slab, today it's code to put that foam gasket there.
Yeah.
And seal that with foam.
Yeah.
Back then, they did not use a foam gasket. They did not use any sealant. They did not use any. So that crack below that bottom plate is allowing cold air and warm air to come in from the outside.
Wow.
And it shows up.
Did he have, I got a question for you on that. Did he have carpet by any chance?
He did.
I bet he had that ghosting.
But he pulled it up. And I told him, I said, I know where your problem's going to be. He says, how do you know? I said, because of building methodologies back in the 70s. They didn't do what they're doing today.
Well, that ghosting will be like especially if it's a light color carpet. What happens is that carpet's now becoming an air filter because the air. And
you got dirt.
You vacuum because you're clean, but you can't get up right against the thing, and you start noticing
that line.
Yeah. That's because of that.
And if you have those carpet lines where it's dirty up against the wall, well, that's the reason. It's a filter. You're catching dirt as a thermal transfer is happening.
It's either going out the walls, and what'll compound it is if your door, you want interior doors to have a little bit of a gap underneath. You don't
Absolutely.
You don't want that
especially bathroom doors. Bath vents don't perform or work properly unless you've got a place to bring air in. If you can't bring air into the room, how are you going to get air out of the room?
Right. I mean, I always tell my wife, unless we're in a room, we need the doors closed, let's leave the doors open because you're getting better circulation.
Absolutely. And you can resolve those steamy bathrooms sometimes by taking a quarter to a half an inch off a bathroom door.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So now because when you don't have it, the air can't get under there. Now it's going down into your carpet, your padding, and going under wall or under the door.
Absolutely.
And that's becoming your filter, and you're going to get that dirty ring around there.
But back to thermal imaging, if you have never had an energy audit. Now, energy audits were popular for a short period of time,
Yeah.
10,
Lower
15
door
years
test
ago.
and all that stuff.
It came through big time there and then they had BMI, or what was it, BPI or something.
HERS rating.
HERS ratings, and
They still do it a little bit in the commercial
Energy
side.
Star Homes.
Yeah.
Energy Star Homes had to be qualified, and all of that seemed to kind of dissipate and kind of not go away necessarily.
It's funny, though. You're right. That was really big about, 10, 15 years ago?
Yeah, it was. And I had several guys that went to the course and got certified and all, and was just, it didn't work.
Yeah.
The concept was true. If you did an energy audit, well, I did a house over in Beverly Woods, back in that period, and had an energy audit done and all. The energy audit guy, and I got to tell you, his communication skills really were terrible. I mean, they were terrible, and the homeowner called me because they were a customer of mine that I had for years. And he called me and says, "Ray, none of this makes sense to me." He didn't explain it worth a darn. And then he says, "Can you come over here and see what you can understand?" I said, "Oh, I'll be glad to." At any rate, I did that, and we solved all the air seal and flow problems, cut their energy bill down by at least 30 to 40% in that house.
I have mixed feelings about all that.
I did too.
I mean, of course, we all want things to be more energy efficient.
Right.
Of course we do. I mean, save energy, all that. The two drawbacks I don't like, though, is if the government gets involved and starts requiring, like the AC now. What do they change it like 3 times now? So if your AC runs out, you're gonna have to get it replaced.
The Freon, refrigerant.
You got to get. What was it? It was the
I can't remember.
R22, and then it switched. And
Trump, said something that he had just signed something that eliminated the need for a lot of that. Did you hear anything about that? And I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm probably talking out of turn here, so I don't want to go say something I don't know what I'm talking about.
Then the other thing is, I'm all about energy efficiency, but a house has got to breathe. I know there was a house up in Raleigh. I went and did my CE each year. The people who were teaching the CE, this house in Raleigh, it was an older house that they had redone, right? Mm-hmm. And they were finding like puddles of water in the hallway and stuff, and they went up and basically they put every energy efficient, airtight thing on that house they could possibly do.
Made it too tight.
Yeah, the house can't breathe.
Doesn't have an ERV on it.
Yeah,
and if you don't have an ERV and that it's all balanced, that's what happens when they bring new technology into building, and it'll go through a period just like this energy audit we talked about. It came on the market, it became real popular, it made sense, everybody went out and started looking into energy audits. Well, they were effective, but you couldn't make any money doing that. You just couldn't. It just didn't work. And then, the fact that now the air quality to you, I called you in here the same way I call Devin Arnett in here from CDA Environmental. Well, when Devin is a hygienist, he inspects for mold, all the toxic chemicals, air, mold, health issues.
Which is a real issue. Can be.
Well, I knew exactly what we're speaking about right now as far as the air quality was going to have a period of issues. Because we were building houses too tight. We weren't putting the technology forth to make them what they really needed to be because we didn't know.
Right.
Here is again, overeducated idiots. And I take it the way you want to. But now, and I called Devin in here to talk about that very thing. And he substantiated and validated exactly what we're talking about. That it's created more environmental toxins in homes, and you need to have them checked and dealt with because of building materials, various reasons, and that's what Devin does. Does a great job too. You ever used him?
I think I've seen him some referrals.
CDA Environmental.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Great guy. Got a great team of people, and they perform a great service to homeowners.
Yeah. I inspected a house over in Raintree. I did it myself. It was several years ago. And I got up under the crawl space, and they had put some sort of, looked like aluminum foil.
Closer to the mic.
Closer to the mic.
Aluminum foil. On
Radiant barrier.
Yeah, on
They
the
call that radiant barriers.
crawl things. Well, man, Ray, I like peeled that back a little bit. Ooh, the floor joists were just rotten because it had trapped,
Trap the moisture.
yeah.
Well, that's back in the 70s when they put in the code that you had to put the poly barrier on the walls after you insulated.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who is the idiot that thought of that? Because that plastic is going to create condensation.
You can't. It's got to breathe.
It's got to breathe.
Yeah.
Sure enough, you pull the paneling off, there's all kind of mold and mildew behind that plastic that trap that moisture in there.
And I mean, what Ray's talking about is, there's moisture in the air, right?
Yes, humidity.
And it, a cold drink like this.
Hot air, cold air.
Yeah.
You get water.
It hit the dew point, you get water. That's going to happen. And as the seasons change and it's
like
hot
today,
outside, cold inside.
Like today, you got a southern exposure wall. Mm-hmm. And that heats up during the day. And then you got 70-degree air inside. And you got that air is going to meet somewhere in that wall. Mm-hmm. And when it does, what do you get? Moisture. Every time.
It's got to have an escape route. If
got
not,
to.
You're going to have mold, mildew, wood rot.
Right.
Respiratory problems.
Speaking of which, proper insulation is essential. ABS Insulating knows what they're doing. Give them a call. If you're looking for greater comfort, longer lasting AC, have an air seal program done on your house. Air seal meaning what we just talked about, somewhat of an energy audit. They can use thermal imaging. They can use a blower door test. They work. You ever done that?
I've witnessed it. I've never done it.
Blower door tests work. Well, ABS Insulating, that's what they do. They don't do a blower door test specifically, but they make your house more energy efficient and more comfortable, giving you less power bill, more energy consumption, less energy consumption, more efficient house. That's ABS Insulating. ABSinsulation.com is where you need to go. Check them out. Their services, open cell, closed cell, open cell and closed cell foam insulation, spray foam. They specialize in spray foam. Got a great team of people, know what they're doing, been doing it for years now. They're ahead of the curve. That's ABS Insulating. And also, they've got a gutter division. Yep, I know it's an insulating company, but they've got a gutter division that can take care of all your gutter issues. Be it you need them replaced, you need them adjusted, you need them maintained, you need new downspouts, you need gutter protection. Whatever you need as far as gutters, ABS will take care of it. That's ABSinsulating.com. And Floor Coverings International of Southeast Charlotte. When it comes to floor covering, well, they got you. They got what it is you need. They got things you may not know that you want or need. That is Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte, and they'll come to you. They bring the showroom to you. They got 5 vans they bring around with great people, a staff that knows flooring products and can give you the service, the recommendation, and the resources you need to get the product you need. So that's Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte, yourflooringteam.com, along with Queen City Home Stores. Queen City Home Stores, your go-to store for bedding, furniture, appliances, media. They got your house. If you hadn't been to a Queen City Home Store since they've grown and made them the home stores, you need to check them out. Best products, best price guaranteed. The Player family, 52, been here since 1952. 3 generations strong, still growing, still going strong, family owned. That's the Queen City Home Store. Shop online, queencityonline.com. In today's show, we got Home Inspection Carolina, Mr. Preston Sandlin, talking about, home inspections, things that you see, things that you don't want to see, like framing. What are you checking? What are you seeing on framing?
Well, a lot of times, like on the pre-drywall, you want to make sure there's multiple things, that the wood's not bowed or splintered, that they're protecting, when they rough in the electrical or the plumbing, that, it needs to have
plate.
to protect it, because, I can't tell you how many times I've come back, somebody either put wainscot or hung a picture. One time even the microwave, when they mounted the microwave above the thing, this a couple of years ago, I was on this inspection. Well, first I was using the thermal imaging, and the wall, I was like,
it showed up.
Well, what I did, I went upstairs, ran a bunch of hot water, just let it run, because I wanted to. That's heat going down the pipe, hot water.
Right.
And I
got a story about that, but keep talking.
Okay. Well, I came back, and a lot of times, I can identify real quick where the drain. There's a 2-story house. There's a drain. There's a 4-inch pipe somewhere.
Yeah.
And I found it. But then I started noticing like fissures, like with the ram. I was like, what is going on there? And it was like, it didn't look like normally, like it was wide and it was fissures. Man, they had punctured that
4-inch line.
Yeah, for when they put in the microwave.
The main sewer vent.
Yeah. So to answer your question, the original question about the framing, you got to protect all of the roughed in plumbing and electrical for things like that, because later, somebody's hanging a picture or anything,
right?
You don't want them to drive through electrical or plumbing line, and I've seen it several times.
And I'm guilty of doing something like that in a remodel job we did. We put in recessed can lights in the kitchen, and those bits that you can literally stick in one and just drill through and fish the wires. Well, we did that. Well, years later, we went upstairs and remodeled the bathroom. And we looked down and we said, oh, my God. We went straight through a plumbing vent line with a piece of Romex. We drilled right through the PVC line and took the Romex right through it, fished it right through there.
Ooh.
And it was a vent, therefore it didn't show up any water, but yet it shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
But how do you know? I mean, really, how do you know? Let me tell you a story about talking about thermal imaging and stuff. I got a call on the radio one Saturday morning. Guy calls me up and says, Ray, I got something's going on funny in my house, and I just wondered if you knew what it would be. I got a master bathroom, and the mirror sweats. The mirror sweats. In other words, there'll be literally, if you can go in there on a hot summer day, and there'll be water, little misty water pocket on the mirror, And I said, really? He said, yeah. You know what it was?
No insulation behind it, or?
The vent pipe. They hubbed. There was a hub in that vent pipe, the 4-inch line.
Right.
And it was pushing the drywall out a little bit. And the drywall was touching that mirror. What do we have? Hot air coming down that vent pipe, hitting that cold air, and with that glass is very dense, and that dew point, you hit the dew point, and what do you get? You get water.
Just like on the side of this drink.
Exactly. Right, I said, I know exactly what it is. He says, how'd you know that? I said, science.
50 years of doing this.
Yeah, I said, science, baby. And I said, it took me a minute, but I figured it out. I went out and looked where the vent came out the roof. I said, right on line. I said, that's exactly, so we put spacers. We spaced the mirror hangers out, got it away from the wall, problem solved.
Well, it goes back to your whole thing at the beginning of this. Problem solving is critical thinking. Like, all right, we got a problem here. Let's look at the evidence of what's going on. And, sometimes there's, in the beginning of a problem like that, I'm thinking 3 or 4 things. It could be. And then I start ruling them out one by one. it's not that. It could
use
be
common sense, critical thinking skills.
And then eventually I'm like, this is what's causing it. I mean, we've had some similar, like, weird stuff people are seeing. And, at first it does. It takes a little while to figure out, like, what's causing this. But
here's another one you'll find every now and then. And I know you've had this happen, hot water feeding the commode.
Oh, it's
they cross the lines in the wall and.
Yeah. Well, I can't tell you how many times I've seen it where on the water heater they've
crossed them up.
And that, I mean, you will get hot water, but you're paying a ton more money for it because, the hot water line just is at the top.
Yeah,
it's at the top of the water heater, and the cold one's at the bottom.
Exactly.
So if you've reversed them now, you really have to run a lot of water to get hot. You need hot, you know. And,
It's wrong. It's wrong.
yeah.
Oh, hot water heaters are sometimes problematic in the fact that.
I got another one for you if we got time.
Oh, I want to hear it. That's why you're here, brother.
Well, one of our clients called, and they kept getting a puddle of water in their garage, and they couldn't figure it out. Oh, I got 2 more stories for you, but I don't know.
No, I love them. That's what we're here for.
They kept getting a puddle of water in their garage, and it had several people look at it, and they couldn't figure out what it was. And, you know, there was no condensation issue going on. We checked that. There's no leak going on. And we traced it back. We got the thermal camera. And you know what it was? There was a hall bath close to there.
Yeah.
And what was happening was the seal, every time somebody flushed the commode, a little bit of water was going underneath. And it built up enough where it would come underneath the way over to the garage. Yeah, and that's what.
And that's where it was manifesting the water.
Yeah, I got another one for you. You got time?
No, please.
So
This is the kind of stuff that homeowners need to know about, as far as it reflects back on the quality of the craftsmanship or the professionalism that went into it, or might I say, didn't go into it.
Yeah. Well, I inspected a house. I'm trying to remember. It was off Arrowwood, I think. Anyway, I went and inspected the house, and I guess they had painted carpet. It looked okay. I mean, it wasn't a new house, but my carbon monoxide detector kept going off. I would usually use that when I'm running the heat. You know, I'm trying to see if there's any a cracked heat exchanger.
Sure, absolutely.
And this thing started going off all over the place. And I'm like, what the heck? But especially like near the garage. And I was like, what the hell? I mean, because I've had cracked heat exchangers before, and it's usually just right there at the vent. So, I put it down on my findings, and even I didn't know what it was. So this one took a little while. I had a HVAC guy go out there, and he said, no, the heat exchanger's not cracked. And I went back out there. I used I thought, well, maybe something was wrong with my detector,
Right.
That carbon monoxide detector is off over. And then I talked to a neighbor, and he said, man, the garage was painted black, and there was some bad stuff going on at this house.
Right.
Selling something. And I put it together, and I kept saying, what would cause things? Turned out they'd been cooking up meth in that house.
I thought that's where we were going here.
Yeah, and I guess some of the ingredients, the ethanol or something in there.
Residual.
Yeah, was in the walls and stuff, and was still radiating that. But
What'd they do with that? They would have to have it abated.
I don't know. I mean, I was just on the inspection side.
I was just curious if you knew.
I don't really know if they. I told them, you need to get somebody environmental out here looking at this. I mean, they may have to cut some drywall,
Or take it all out.
So that was in Arrowwood? That was off Arrowwood?
Yeah, yeah. And so I don't know exactly what happened after I did my job and told them the thing, and I'm inspecting other houses and moving on.
Right.
It's not like, I know if you're thinking, well, why didn't you find out more about,
No, you're a busy guy. You got to jump around and do what you're supposed to do.
But, the real thing was when I looked it up that some of the ingredients for meth will set a carbon monoxide detector off. And
wow.
So
I appreciate you sharing that story.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Good
we were
story.
checking for cracked heat exchanger, but we accidentally found
some
meth.
Meth.
And they
Stumbled
cleaned it up
across
good.
some meth.
And they said that the neighbor told me that what the neighbor told me like really gave me an eye. Wait a minute.
You got something else going on here.
Yeah, I started doing a little more. He pointed me in a different direction.
Right.
Which was the right direction.
Sure.
Yeah. But then he said they painted the walls black in the garage, and for some reason they do that. I don't know. I looked up. I mean, I've never cooked meth in my life, but
At least not that you knew of anyway.
not on purpose anyway.
The way they're putting it on various things, you got to be very careful these days in what you consume for sure. Well, what's the worst situation you've embarked upon as far as home inspection? Be it new construction, be it old construction. I mean, like trusses, for example. Are you finding trusses damaged and cracked and framework and?
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of, and trusses not supported correctly.
Right.
Decks are scary because if that's not built right and the people have a party on there or have
They fall.
Yeah, that happened down at
Star Mount, it happened in years back.
happened at the beach and happened at a house down by Lake Wiley not too long ago. That's scary because people can really get hurt. I've seen a lot of crazy things.
You used to. I don't know. I'm not on social media. I'm on social media, but I don't go to social media that much. I'm on it due to this podcast and the reels that are produced, but I don't I don't check it out like I used to.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I was on social media probably every day looking at, and back when you cooked them pancakes for the girls, and
I'll post some of the crazy stuff. Like people tapping into the main on the panel.
Right.
I mean, they're running something, but they've tapped into the main. There's no breaker protection whatsoever. I mean, that's a fire waiting to happen. And just crazy. Yeah, so much stuff you see.
And I can imagine the things you see on resales that people have DIYs gone in there, like you say.
Flippers are.
Oh, I'm glad you said flippers again. How's the flipper market in Charlotte going? It used to be a big deal. Now there's not any more houses to flip now. As much as there used to be. Am I right or wrong on that?
No, you're right. Used to, somebody could buy a distressed house. They've watched a couple of episodes of HGTV.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, buddy.
Hey, what would Chip and Joanna do here? And, they'll make the inside look nice, but then I crawl under it and I'm like, this crawl space looks like freaking a bomb went off in here and like moisture
and wires going everywhere, not stapled up.
And they've replaced some flooring and just pushed the old flooring. The bathroom floor is on the ground. And
that's what I hate about flipping.
Yeah.
The flippers, they'll buy houses and they don't know what they're doing. They go in there and make it look pretty, but underneath the pretty, oh dear.
They're just making things pretty that you can see.
Exactly.
But the things you can't see, the attic and the crawl space, will be. And think about what is a flipper essentially trying to do. They're trying to make that spread.
Yeah.
So, they want to do as
little as possible for the most possible.
Right.
But Charlotte used to be a big flipping market 10, 15 years back, but it's not what it once was because the inventory here is. Well, we're running out.
Well, it's gone from flipping to teardowns. I think that's what it is now, and you're seeing it. I mean, so many neighborhoods because of the proximity, I guess, to downtown or whatever.
Yep, you're right.
Gentrification.
What's that?
Gentrification.
Gentrification.
I mean, I went to a house. We inspected a house down in what is it? South. What's the one down there off? Like South Boulevard, is that Southmont?
Starmount.
Thank you.
Yeah, old urban houses.
Yeah. When I first moved to Charlotte, those houses were about $80,000.
Oh yeah. Great buys, like Windsor Park.
Yeah, little brick houses. I lived in an Irwin house in Amity Gardens.
Yeah.
Great little houses. They were brick. But anyway, my point is, I had gone to one there. They had tore it down and built. It was like an $800,000 house. I mean, like modern looking, and I mean, it was kind of weird though because like all the other houses were like Starmount, the normal mid-century.
Well, what about Greer Heights?
Oh yeah.
There's a house on Sunnyside. This story's typical Charlotte too. There was a lot and a half my friend bought with a shotgun house on it. Actually, it was two. Back in the day, it was like a mill house, okay? Well, they had put two together and made about a 6-bedroom house out of it with 2 bathrooms, okay? Well, okay, he bought it for like 70-something thousand.
Right.
70-something thousand way back. And it was Section 8, okay? And he, because it was in Greer Heights on Sunnyside. Well, the lot next to him was about a half of a lot, actually. But he had that big lot. I don't know how it turned out this way, but somebody bought that half lot and built a new house on it. Built a brand new house on it.
Half lot?
Built a brand new house on it, 2-story house, modern, sold for $465,000, for almost $500,000. And $500,000 on a half-acre lot. And I looked at the homeowner, my friend, and I says, when's enough enough? And we stood in the front yard that day, and you could see the skyline of Charlotte out the backyard. And I said, why? Because I had told him at one time he needs to tear that down and build a house on it and sell it then with a new house on it. But then I changed my mind, and I said, the way that house next door sold, I'd sell this lot. Just sell it, let it go.
Yeah.
And don't stress yourself out building a house, because building a house is stressful in today's market due to what we've talked about here on this show today.
Lining up all the
building a house is not an easy task.
That would be a job. That would be a full-time job.
Oh, it is, especially in today's world. Matter of fact, to that point, knew a lady bought a house out in Providence Country Club. The back portion of, Providence Country Club. Mm-hmm. She came down here and moved from Raleigh, and she was a contractor up in Raleigh, a remodeler, okay? And she would buy houses and, fix them up, remodel them, not to flip them necessarily, but to make them better. And, she said she had a great business up in Raleigh. She moved down here and took on that house and, remodeled it, brought it up to everything she wanted. She was going to move into it. Mm-hmm. And she said, Ray, what's going on in Charlotte? She had the biggest headaches. She said, and this is exactly what we're talking about as far as quality and craftsmanship and construction. It's gone downhill tremendously. Finding good contractors, finding good subcontractors, painters, drywall, electrician. She went through 3 electricians. 3. And thing is, when I'd go in, I'd sit down and I'd say, okay, it's vent time. Let me hear it, girl. Tell me all about your trials and tribulations. She said, Ray, you won't believe it. She shared stories, but I hear this all the time, Preston.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, you hear stories. And frankly, it's more of the conversation topic today than ever before.
Well, we had to move our septic, our house. The septic, the lines were like right behind that.
You mean drain fields?
Yeah, the drain fields.
Gotcha.
I wanted it moved. We eventually put in a pool. I wanted it moved further back. And I called a bunch of companies, and some of them wouldn't answer the phone. And I was supposed to have, I stayed home one day and was like going to have multiple people come out.
Sure.
And lined it up. I spent the whole.
Oh, yeah.
Only one showed up the whole day.
To my point, right there.
They're the ones who did it, and they did a pretty good job. $6,000. That was years ago, though. That was 10 years ago. That was 2015.
Gotcha. What, you going to stay out there where you're at? Now the kids are grown?
Yeah, I'd like to downsize. I mean, we have a lot more space than we need, but, I'm sitting on a 3% loan.
Not only that, you can't sell it and turn around and buy you a house for the same dollars, and you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of square
footage. Because how long you been there now?
10 years. Or 11. 2015.
Gotcha.
I love it, but it's way more house than we need now. We had the kids and we're growing
I wouldn't own a house for nothing in this world anymore. I don't want anything. I don't want the upkeep, the maintenance, because a house, when you have a house, is perpetual work.
Oh, yeah.
You never finish, do you?
No, you've got something that's got weather, temperature. I mean, everything.
All the systems
it is
require maintenance and upkeep.
And everything has
time.
a life expectancy.
Yep.
And and it's whenever you buy a house, everything's somewhere on that life expectancy. The roof, the HVAC, the water heater, and it's going to need something all the time.
It does. It never stops.
And I love it. I mean, I think home ownership is good as far as the equity part. But
it's great. It's great investment.
Yeah.
As far as your money and dollars in the bank, but you got to maintain it.
Yeah.
Here's something I want to talk about, too, on the show today as far as quality. We talked about fine craftsmanship and finished carpentry. Finished carpentry, the window casings, the door casings, the crown mold, the chair rail, all the baseboards. If you're doing a job in your house, Do not use MDF products. It's paper. It's compressed paper. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's crown mold in this room that I hung myself and installed myself. It's wood. It's primed, finger joint, yellow pine, crown mold.
Looks good.
Looks great.
Joints look good.
And MDF will literally disintegrate with water. So, and I'm talking humidity water too. And I go in houses now with baseboard made of MDF. My goodness. Now, you can't tell the difference looking at it. You as a homeowner, you don't know you got MDF in your house. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, no, you're right.
It is junk.
They make it look good for long enough to sell the house.
That's what they do. But on that note, let's talk about Rhino Lift. How many slabs you seen sink?
Oh, well, a few. I've seen some for sure. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
If you've got a slab that subsides, sinks, okay, which is done due to poor construction, Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions can put that back into place. A garage floor, a lot of those will sink sometimes because they're not compacted and installed correctly to begin with. Driveways, patios, any subsiding, cracked slabs, they've got ways they can repair those and pull them back together and pin them together. Check them out. That's rhinoliftfoundations.com. They're a great company, licensed contractor in both North and South Carolina, and they've got solutions no matter what your situation. Crawl space issue, crawl space encapsulation, they can do it. Retaining wall, helical piers, foundation repair of all nature. That's rhinofoundationsolutions.com. rhinofoundations.com, excuse me, not solutions, but just Google them, Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions. Google them, check them out, get them out to your house, check out what you think you might have as a problem. They'll take care of it. And speaking of crawl spaces, every crawl space, how often should we inspect a crawl space?
I'd say every 6 months at least.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You give 6 months? Regardless of what you might do, a 6 months, annual, or semi-annual, it doesn't matter. But you need to have your crawl space inspected. You inspect crawl space?
Yep, we do.
Inspection of crawl spaces, if you have a crawl space, is absolutely essential. Why not get an exterminating company, pest control company, to come out there and check out your crawl space for wood-destroying insects, problematic bugs, infestation of any time. Fleas can become a big problem. If you've got those kind of issues, Kilo Exterminating. Been around town since 1939. Not too many companies. Privately, family owned, still today, 3 generations strong. Kilo.biz. Check them out. One of the finest pest control companies in Charlotte, North Carolina. Guaranteed. That's Kilo Exterminating. Kilo.biz. And today, we've been talking to Mr. Preston Sandlin of Home Inspection Carolina, bringing us up to date on all the woes you might find in houses. A few of them anyway. But the quality is not what it used to be. We need to put tools in schools, train our youth, our students, how to critical think, problem solve, and just teach them some craftsmanship. And it's once they learn it, they'll never be without a job. PutToolsInSchools.org. Check out our website, please. Donate. We need financial support. We need body support. Our first summer camp work day is next Monday morning at 10:30. Let's ministry. What's next ministry? That's it. I'm dealing with a lot of nonprofits here. What's Next Ministry is bringing 10 to 15 students over here, high school students, that we're going to find out what they know, and what they don't know, and we're going to put some information in their heads. We're going to teach these kids all about tools and what they can achieve by learning how to use them. You can do anything you set your mind to do if you've got the proper information, technology, and tools to do it with. But you're not going to do anything without the proper tools. And we need to teach all our youth, how to do it. how to use tools, how to problem solve, how to be totally independent and self-sufficient, and raise their self-esteem, raise their self-confidence in what they can and can't do. Because kids today coming out of school, very few have self-confidence. And it's sad because we're all geniuses. Every one of us is a genius in our own right. We just need to tap into what that might be because everyone's different. And put tools in schools, we do it. We teach kids how to jump outside the box. See, they want to keep you in the box because when they keep you in the box, they got you.
Right. They keep you voting for them, keep you poor.
Yeah, they want to keep you in the box, keep you codependent upon the government and programs that make you. Have you ever noticed when you ask some kids a question, they sit there and wonder and ponder it? They don't know, and they're afraid to answer the question in fear of being wrong.
Oh, yeah.
It's sad. It's very sad.
It's fine to be wrong. That's how you get to the right answer.
PutToolsInSchools.org is all about it. So, folks, help us. Help us help the children. And another thing, none of my business. Your kids are your kids, but you need to listen to them. You listened to Sarah Margaret, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did she come to you one day, Preston, and say, "Dad, I want to do so and so"?
Yeah. I even when she was, I always just said, don't quit this job till it can, make as much as your other one. And she hit that, and she did it. You know what I mean?
Then she dropped the other one and said, "We're off and running."
Yeah, I mean, she wanted to do it,
I understand.
all along, because she didn't like the corporate.
Is she still at home, or she's?
Oh, she lives down at South End. She's got a roommate.
Gotcha. Awesome.
I mean,
one's gone, one down, one to go.
That's right.
And then Mama says, "Oh no, my babies are gone."
Yeah, well, now we have a lot of dogs.
Well, just replace the babies with more babies.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think my wife needs that nurturing.
We all do to some degree. That's the way God made us.
Yeah.
It's called love and maternal.
Yeah.
The problem is, how far is that maternal taking us this day and time? Women are maternalizing, bad word, but you get my point, a lot of things, and we need more men to step up.
Well,
we need more male influence and masculine influence.
100%. They've demonized masculinity.
I was demonized here in the past week because of what I say and how I say it. But once again, I'm going to say it the way I have to say it. Somebody's got to. I mean, somebody has to tell the truth.
You always went to your mom for money or something about, whatever. But, you went to your dad to this bully's picking on me.
If you had one.
This bully's picking on me at school. How do I handle that? Or.
Right.
My car's broke down. How do I,
Right. Well, first of all, teach kids about car maintenance.
Right.
Got to.
And
that's part of what we do.
And I would go to my dad if I was going to ask something that involved a little bit of danger. You never go to mom for danger.
Oh, yeah. That's for sure.
Like, oh, yeah, just be careful.
Right. Well, we're about 2 minutes out now, so how do people get in touch with
the best way is through the website, homeinspectioncarolina.com. We also have, the Instagram, Facebook. Look up Inspector Crazy Pants or Home Inspection Carolina.
How many pair of pants you got?
Oh, about 60, 70, something like that.
Those pants are something special. Those are cool. I like it.
Try to be remembered and embarrass kids.
Inspector Crazy Pants. That's him.
Yeah.
Done a great job branding on that, too.
Google it. Yeah. I bought the website for it, too.
Where do you get the pants? Can you reveal it?
Yeah. Most of them are those golf pants. A couple of different locations, but the biggest one is the Loudmouth. That's the one John Daly does. But I get a couple others. And this woman made a couple for me. So
cool.
So you found a seamstress that can make them.
Yeah,
that's great.
I did find out, the thickness of the material is an importance, but
I got you.
You don't want thin pants.
Well, next week we got Song Dog Wildlife coming on in studio. That's Andrew Cole. We're going to talk about the animal migration. You say, what? with Charlotte building like it's doing, animals got to go somewhere, and every year or maybe twice a year we bring Andrew Cole in and talk about the animals and what to look for and what you need to know about the animals, because they go in someplace. Your house might be just the environment they're looking for. And we'll talk about all the ins and outs and what we need to talk about. I appreciate you coming in today and spending time with us.
Oh, man, loved it. Thank you
great.
for having me.
As always, good information, a plethora of information. And it's good that you can come in and join us. And we'll have you in. It won't be so long next time. I appreciate it. And folks, like I say, next Saturday, right here on About Your House, we got Andrew Cole, Song Dog Wildlife.